Sorry about that, folks.
So Kezi has swapped to the softs. Kezi has swapped to the softs.
Yeah, at the front of the grid, that might be a wise move. The beauty of that is that your softs are going to last.
Here we go.
You need to do the rest of the race on the slower tyre. So the people that start on the slower tyre are going to have to make a guesstimate, or they're going to have to have done their homework. They're going to have to know, how many laps they can do on the mediums, 5, 6, or 7, before they switch to that faster tyre. Because the last thing you want to do is one lap too many on the slower tyre.
And we are about to get things underway for the final B of the Group 4 Champions of Champions final series. Top 7 will progress through to the final. Whip Attack put it on pole. And with Kez Audio alongside Tricky Brewer, Soul Slayer, GLR, Scotty, Rick Reen, S-Mitch and Robo Sport. That's your top 8. This is going to be 20 laps around the mountain as we wait for lights in the B final.
Revs are up.
Lights out and away we go. Whip Attack with a great start. Kez almost stalling on the line. Tricky Brewer's already alongside him. Whip Attack's the first to the line comfortably. S-Mitch tries to send it up the inside of Tricky. There's 3 or 4 wide. Big incident coming out of turn 1. All sorts going on there. The stewards will have a little quick look at that and decide as they all fly up the hill. Ah, madness. Kez Audio, Soul Slayer, that's just absolutely scrambled me, everything that's happened at the start.
Sorry folks, I've had an internet issue at the wrong time there, but it looks like they're falling into place now. We've got Kez Audio in second from Warslayer, Rick Crean in fourth, Ozreb Raptor in fifth.
Oh, Rick with contact.
They've settled into a bit of a train.
Let's see if we can, let's see, can we see the start? That's just, yeah, just a little view of
Kez is pressuring Whip Attack into the S's now. He's caught up with him across the top.
So they all come down through the S's.
First 3 nose to tail. They've made a bit of a break on the rest of the field already. To be expected, they're running on the softs.
Of course, so first time into Conrod straight. Whip Attack, Kez already on Soul Slayer, all right side by side. Kez has got the inside line. Gets the job done before the turn. Whip Attack still has his nose alongside. It's going to send Kez around the outside. Kez comes out the better.
That was nice driving. That was a bold move from Kez through the kink, and it paid off for him. He's now inherited the lead of the race. But wow, that Mercedes from Soul Slayer, it had a run on them both coming down Conrod. That thing's got some grunt. We'll see that up the mountain straight here. Although Kez has got a great exit out of the first corner. But the Aston's already mowing him down. There could be a bit of fuel saving going on here, folks, already. But the first 3 order has looked to have settled down a bit as we move down through the pack. We've got GLR Scotty harassing Raptor at the moment into the cutting in 7th.
Robbo's right on Conway's tail as well.
These GTRs are going to be a handful around here. They were on Tuesday night, and I've got no doubt they'll be the same tonight. And as he touches the wall again, so Raptor's having trouble manhandling that GTR across the top. Let's see, he's on cold medium, so he's getting harassed by Scotty. He's filling his mirrors at the moment down through the dipper. Can he get a good run through Forest Elbow? He does. Let's see if he can make a move down Conrod Straight. Or will he work with him? It might be a good time to pair up here and pick a partner for the last dance. If you can work together, you can make some inroads.
No, thinks again. Thinks again. Is going to lead him across the line.
Has exited the chase with a little error, and that's given Scotty the place. So Scotty just waiting there, ready to pounce, and he makes the move. They both get through the last corner, a little bit scrappy. They're side by side down pit straight. Now Raptor's going to have a look into turn one, and he gets the place back.
Oh, well done.
Nicely done.
Let's get that on a replay. Yeah, side by side.
I'd say these two are going to spend a bit of time together tonight.
Rick and Robbo,
I believe
having a battle as well, just in front.
They are just in front, not far up the road. They're through the cutting now. Rick's got a pretty good run through the cutting. He's harassing Robbo now across the top into Reed Park. Robbo runs a bit wide, holds it off the wall. Now they're into McPhillamy. There's not much in it. Not many overtaking opportunities across the top though, is there? So they decide to hold rank and file down through the S's, now into the dipper. Rick's run a bit wide, and he gets a bit taily exiting the dipper. Sorry, that was Robbo in front's run a bit wide. Now Rick's got a really good position here, exiting Forest Elbow. Doesn't quite get as good an exit as the Merc in front of him, but he's within slip still. Yeah, interesting phase of the race here, isn't it? There's still some scraps going on, but they also want to settle into their strategies and look after their tyres and fuel. So they don't want to be battling too much at this point of the race. They also don't want to be making any mistakes. Mistakes around here can be absolutely catastrophic. We've got damage on full here at Trailblazers. So in the main race here with damage on full, if you touch the wall or hit the wall at all and cop damage, it's really going to put pay to your chances of winning or getting a podium in the race.
Kez the man to beat at the moment on lap 4. Followed by Whip Attack, Soul Slayer, Robbo, Rick and Raptor. Scotty hot on Raptor's heels still as well.
Kez is gapping the field here, isn't he? He's obviously settled into a nice rhythm on the softs.
He's the man though.
Yeah, the Mazda.
All these other new names a bit. Some of them have given him a run for his money now. He cleaned up.
The Mazda Vision's not a popular car. Yeah, he's done well in that Mazda this season though. He really has. As he goes purple again, down through Skyline, S's into the dipper. He's got the thing hooked up nicely. His tyres are looking good. The Mazda is extremely good on tyres compared to the rest of the field. And Whip Attack, the poor bugger, has got damage. He's got front aero, and he's got front left wheel damage, unfortunately.
Rick's just got past Robbo. Let's have another look at that replay. Robbo's come flying down into Forest's elbow and just lost the rear end and stuck the front left into the barrier. No damage, but just killed his momentum.
Very lucky. Yeah, very lucky. But that's what I was talking about, folks. One error will really cost you around here. Will cost you at least a place.
On me. The race is frozen on me completely. This is amazing.
Oh no! Oh no! It was shaping up so good too.
No, we're good. We're back.
Back with it? Oh, good.
Yeah,
good,
I just don't think it likes me using the keyboard to do all these things.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a shame.
Wicked. We're still.
Anyway,
going.
we've got Kez. He's pushed his lead out to 3 seconds here. He's heading up Mountain Straight now. He's settled into a really nice rhythm, a really nice pace. His last lap was a 2:03 flat. Followed by Whip Attack, 3 seconds behind in the mighty Aston. He's a little bit slower in pace, and he's got damage as well, so that's not going to help him at all. He might have to just limp around. He might have to go long on the mediums. He might have to do maybe another lap or two and then swap onto the mediums and take his chances that way, because I don't believe having front aero damage is going to be manageable at all around Bathurst.
I carried it for 2 of my stints in the finals, and it wasn't good.
Did you?
Yeah, across the 2 races. Yeah.
And how'd that turn out for you?
Not great.
Not great. Yeah.
I was in the comms box and not in the in the cockpit.
Yeah, I think it might be time to take your medicine here, and I do know you can maybe squeeze out 15 laps out of a tank, so we might see him pull into the pits at the end of this lap. Although the Aston's a bit thirsty, so he might have to do one more. But yeah, he's now struggling. But the good news is he's in second. He's holding a 2 and a bit second lead over Soulslayer, so not all is lost for Whiptack. He could, dare we say it, podium tonight and maybe even challenge for the win still.
Raptor shows his nose to Robbo, going through the chase.
Good to see Raptor doing well tonight. He's sticking with it. He was... Oh, and the commentator's curse. He runs wide in the last corner into the barrier.
Mate, done it again.
And he cops damage as well. I've done it again. Oh, dear, oh, dear. But, yeah, Raptor wasn't feeling well last night, apparently, and he did not have a good night's racing. But I was going to say I hope he does well tonight. He was sitting there nicely in 6th. But unfortunately has run wide out of the last corner and copped some, once again, front aero damage from hitting the barrier. So might require a slight strategy adjustment for him as well. Good news for him, though, is that he has started on the medium, so he was probably going to be pitting it. Hurt him too badly.
So Kez is checking out. 5.5 second gap to second place.
Yeah, but interestingly, Whip Attack is on the mediums, so this is probably to be expected that he's gapping the field here, Kez. Because let's go back to Warslayer. He's on mediums as well, so Kez is really going to have to get a wriggle on here, I believe. He needs to gap the field in order for his strategy to work.
Absolutely, he's going to make the most of that softer compound. And
yeah,
these two
he might
not
be
even
the only
stop.
one on softs. Yeah, we've got GLR Scotty in 6th on softs, but he also has front aero damage, so he's going to struggle because you don't want damage early in the race if you're on the softs, because that's the tyre that you ideally want to run long with. So he's in trouble.
So Raptor, the driver at risk in P7, currently with a 7.8 second gap to Pozza as Raptor runs off the road. Was like, I'm going to stop going to Raptor because Raptor
we got to. Yeah, he runs onto the grass again. Poor bugger. Let's stop cutting to him.
Kezi up the hill. 12 thousandths outside. His first best sector time.
How many RPM do you think that RX Vision does? I swear it must be about 12,000.
All of them. All of the RPM.
Yeah. Yeah, it does all of them, yeah. But he settled into a couple of nice lap times there, 2:02s. So he's going to have to make hay here while the sun shines and get out to at least a 25-second lead when he pulls into the pits. That's what we calculated is the pit duration when you stop for tyres and about a third of a tank of fuel, which is what they'll all need. He runs purple into Skyline, so that's a good sign for him. Down through the dipper, keeps it clean. This Forest Elbow here is really one of the most challenging corners in this whole game, I believe. It's so easy to get slidey and wash off speed and run wide and touch the wall on exit. It's very hard to get right.
Robbo still trying to stay in touch with Rick. Rick's in P4.
Yeah, so Robbo's in the Merc. It's a good car. His mediums are looking pretty healthy. He's got half a tank of fuel left and he's got no damage. So he's looking pretty good. He's sitting in the box seat for a podium, I'd say. Keeping it clean for the whole 20 laps is absolutely key tonight.
Everyone nice and settled down at the moment. Nothing too crazy going on. Nobody giving anyone else too much grief. So we're just going to flick back through the field. Check the gaps. Robbo is in within 8/10, so he's going to have the slip up Mountain Straight at the start of lap 8. Exit wasn't as strong. What's going on here then? Demon right on the tail of Bozza. 6 seconds the gap to P7, which is the magical number. They need to get to P7. So Bozza and Demon have to work together here.
Yeah, we might have to keep a little bit of a focus on this cusp here tonight. The P7 is critical, isn't it?
Absolutely, as the top 7 drivers.
Bubble.
Yeah,
we've got to keep an eye on the bubble.
Progress through to the final.
At the moment, Raptor is on the bubble.
So Raptor, 6 seconds the gap, in front and behind.
And you know what? Raptor and P6 Scotty have both got damage.
Ooh.
So Bozza and Demon are, they're looking pretty good. They shouldn't give up just yet. They could burst Raptor's bubble, so to speak.
That's a cruel mistress. When she bites hard.
Yes, the walls here at the mount,
now.
I think PJ said it last night, the walls across the top of the mountain are not forgiving.
Rick still a second in front of Robbo. And 8, 9 and 10. Bozza, Demon and Tricky. It's all nice and calm.
Yeah, we're just approaching the halfway point in the race. There could be some pitting happening soon.
Yeah, as you say
but
that.
Yeah, I think the focus is going to, have to remain on this bubble position of 7th as we get into the second stint because, I think it's going to get really close with the 2 cars ahead carrying damage and the 2 cars behind. I think they're closing in on them.
Oh, Robbo Sport pit. So Bozza's gone up into P7. Brings everybody up a spot.
There you go.
Now the games begin. The undercut versus the overcut.
Yes, and that trade-off, obviously you have to pit a bit earlier than you had planned to if you're carrying damage. You can't carry damage around here for 1 lap longer than you want to. Then you have to. Then you absolutely have to. The mediums and soft tyres are not that dissimilar in pace, so if it was me copping damage, I'd be pitting earlier rather than later.
So P11's where he's come out, Robbo Sport. He's 47 seconds behind Kez. So keep an eye on that. Copite's come in as well. It's coming off the softs.
So Raptor's still out carrying damage, which is interesting. So is Scotty. So these guys might lose out here to those guys behind that elected to pit. They decided to take their medicine, get themselves fixed up, and they'll be on pace again. So these guys, Scotty and Raptor, I'd be very concerned for both of them. If they don't pit this lap, I think they're in serious trouble.
Scotty stays out.
He stays out. Wow.
Rick comes into the pits, gets off the mediums. Raptor stays out as well. So it's still Kez Audio, 8.6 seconds from Whip Attack. 4 seconds between Whip Attack and Soul Slayer. He's in third. 9 seconds down to GLR Scotty.
And something's gone not right for poor old Aussie tonight, because Kez in the lead is about to overtake him and lap him. The Blues are waving already on lap 10.
Blue flag.
So poor old Aussie has not had a good night. Let's have a look on board with him. He's got fresh soft, so he's pitted. He's got no damage. So I think he's cruising around, though. I think he's maybe put pay to his evening. So he's cruising around. He's letting Kez, the leader, gain on him. Down into Forest Elbow. Kez is right on his tail now. And Aussie's flipped it around. Yeah, he's flipped it around. I'd say he might be guilty of not doing much practice before this evening. That's my guess.
That was me the last couple. That was me this week completely. He's not focused.
But fortunately for Aussie, he's gotten sideways and messed up Forest Elbow, and Kez basically got through without being held up too much. That was, that could have gotten ugly, folks. With the leader coming through the lap traffic, it's not ideal.
So RoboSport is now right on the tail of Renegade. And Rick Reen's just hit the wall right behind them. Damage check on Rick. Whip attack boxes now.
Okay, so he's pulled the trigger. He's gone before Kez, which is interesting. To be expected, though, because he's on those mediums. He wants to get off them as soon as he can. So he's given himself 10 and 10. Interesting strategy.
Here comes Raptor as well into the box. And JHR, Demon.
So Kez is staying out on his worn softs, which are totally fine, really. They're not worn that much. He's got plenty of fuel left. He's doing 202 still, or his last lap was a 203.1, so he's going around quite nicely. He's got free air, no traffic, and he might win out on strategy here, I think, as well.
So Sol has jumped Whip Attack in the pits. Slayer moves up into P3 over Whip Attack.
Wow, someone's been spending a bit too much of their juice, haven't they?
Or maybe Renegade runs it wide through Griffins, side by side, Renegade and RoboSport. Rick Reen's lurking right behind them as they come into the cutting.
Good driving by Renegade there. He yields. He realised that he made the mistake and that he was the slower car. So very, very courteous of him to let Robbo through without holding him up too much. Let's see if he pays the same courtesy to Rick, the godfather of the league. If you're going to be nice to someone, it's probably Rick you want to be nice to. They dip down into the dipper. Oh, Renegade's getting real taily in that Rexy. His soft tyres are a little bit worn. They're not too bad, though. Rick lines him up out of Forest Elbow in that massive GTR with all that grunt. Gets an easy run on the Rexy and makes mincemeat of him through Conrod well before the top of the hill. He's past him. Job done.
Seem to have broken the replay feature somehow. So it doesn't work at all now.
Sorry, mate, can't help you with that.
No, it's all good. That would be to,
but yeah, Rick's on a charge here. He's got fresh softs and plenty of juice, no damage. Let's watch and see if he can maintain his spot in that top 7 and get into that A final.
Renegade boxes. So Rick stood on the tail of Robbo.
Yeah, shout out to Renegade there. He tried to stay out of those two guys' way because he knew they had pitted and were faster. And yeah, he tried his best. He did well there. Shout out to Renegade. Good driving, sir.
Rick goes purple by 2/10 in the first sector.
Yeah, he's
right
got that
on
thing
the
hooked
tail
up.
of Soul now as they come up and over the top. But then Soul Slayer with a much better exit out of the cutting.
Yeah, both these guys are pitted. They're done for the evening, folks, in the pits. They're just going to be going flat out to the end here. So this is a race for position. Down through the S's. Into the dipper. We've got Aston versus Merc. Two grunt vehicles here. Both these cars are very good in a straight line. Let's see who can get the better exit out of Forest Elbow. Both similar. Maybe Soul Slayer got a slightly better exit. He's got half a second lead, but that's already being eaten into here. The slipstream is so strong down this massive Conrod Straight. And Whipper's going to have to lift here through the kink, and he does a little. Lines him up, decides discretion is the better part of valour. You do not want to be making ill-advised moves into the chase, folks. You do not. Unless you are fully committed into your move, you need to back out, and that's exactly what he did. Decided to wait and fight another day.
Well, that other day could come a lot sooner than later. He's right on his tail.
He is. Once again, it all starts again now. Now we go up the mount. Who gets the better exit out of turn one will dictate who might have the advantage into Griffins. And it looks like the Aston's got a run here. He definitely has. Both these Gruntmobiles, he's alongside and gets the job done well before the braking zone. All he has to do is make sure he doesn't run wide, which he does. He parks on the apex and he's through. That Aston is definitely a force to be reckoned with around Bathurst. I can tell you that for a fact. And he's gapped Soul Slayer. Maybe Soul Slayer's made a little error. Whippertack's on a charge here. He wants the win, I think. He's going for it, and he's purple.
Oh,
he's 4/10 purple through Skyline.
He's taken a second off of Kez as soon as he got past Soul Slayer.
Yeah,
but 39
Kez
seconds
running
to
long
gap.
here. Kez running long on the softs could be the master strategy, folks. He's elected not to pit on lap 13, so he's going to do 14 laps on the softs. So we'll see. Is this the master stroke? Is this the master strategy?
Might just be, but then you never know. How long's a pit stop with fuel? But he only needs 6 laps of fuel.
Yeah,
he saves
it's
fuel
only 26
like
seconds.
else.
So he's just done a 2:03.7. And
Scotty's coming in.
Yeah, Scotty's out of position. He's going to struggle to stay in the point, so to speak. He'll be right on the bubble. But Whippertacker comes across the line now. Let's have a look at his lap time here. Oh my God, he's done a 2:01.
Woo!
A 2:01.3. This guy is flying, folks. But he's run wide into turn one, holds it together. He is flying. So Kez is 38 seconds to the better at the moment. I believe he's going to pit this lap, and he should come out about 12 seconds ahead. So we'll see if Whippertack on the softs can chase that 12-second lead down by the end of the race.
I don't know. There's not a lot of. I don't know if he's got enough laps left. We'll see. I think that was 25 seconds, 26 without fuel or with fuel.
With fuel.
With fuel.
So I think Kez has pulled yet another master stroke here. I'm going to call it now, but
pull in 2 seconds a lap.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But Whippertack, oh my God, he's just done a 2:01.3. That is stonking, folks. That is absolutely flying.
If he stays in the 201s until the end, he might give Kez a bit of a fright.
Yep. But Kez will be on light fuel. He'll be on low fuel and fresh medium. So he'll be in the 202s, I think. So I think he's comfortably got this. But only one mistake, as we've said before, one mistake will change it all, won't it?
He's in the pit lane. Pressure on the pit crew. Needs a quick pit stop.
I can't believe how hard Whippertack's going. This is the danger too. He doesn't want to go too hard and hurt his tyres. He doesn't want to go too hard and force a mistake from himself. So he's got to hold it together. He knows it's hammer time. He knows it's hammer time now, and he's going for it.
Well, Kez has been released. Comfortable. Let's see what the gap's going to be.
Comfortable. It's not going to be too long. It's going to be about 10 seconds, I think. He's going to have the fresh, warm tyres. So there you go, 10-second gap.
Well, this is the chase that we have.
Kez has got 6 laps to defend 10 seconds.
And Whippertack's
on
purple.
The medium tyres.
So he's got to reel him in. I think he's got enough time. 6 laps is enough. But it's when the tyre wear starts to hit the soft tyres.
The softs. The way Whippertack's driving, he's extracting time out of the car by abusing his tyres. So I reckon his times are going to drop off pretty quickly. He's really, really throwing that car into the corners. Although he's backed off across the top of the mountain there, so he's purple again. He's actually driving pretty clean across the top as he drops down through the dipper. So he's making inroads already. It's down to 8 seconds, folks. This could be close. This could be close.
For Kezi, Whippertack, Soulslayer, and Rick Reen. RoboSport right on the tail of Rick Reen. 1 second gap between P4 and P5. GLR Scotty, 32 seconds off the lead. He's safe at the moment in P6. Raptor's in P7. He's on the cusp. He's in the danger zone. And here comes Tricky charging down. 2.7 seconds the gap. Tricky is going to be so keen to get into that final. He's going to be giving it everything.
This will be a battle to the death. Can Raptor keep that GTR straight, keep it off the walls, keep it clean, and bring home that treasured 7th position in race B?
That's the 2 battles we have. Whippertack, 6.8 seconds the gap. He's taken 3.5 seconds off him in a lap. Is that right? 6.4.
Yeah, that's huge. I think we might have missed a slight error from Kez maybe. He's got to get into the rhythm with these mediums. They are so different to drive around here. So he's got plenty of fuel. He doesn't have to short shift, but he does have to adjust his braking points, and he has to adjust his corner speeds. He needs to drive this car so differently. Well, that could be another factor that comes into it. The blues. Not what you really want to see when you're looking in your mirrors for the guy bearing down on you in softs. But anyway, it's all part of racing.
On board with
now it's down to 6 seconds.
It is.
Whippertack is making inroads here. He's going for it. I'm impressed. I'm really surprised by this. I thought Kez was going to walk away from it with it.
Debut season from Whippertack, I think. It's not a name that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've raced against him yet. So did he feature high on the finishing order?
He was champ.
Okay. Sorry, there you go.
2.
Oh, well,
on debut, I think it's his first season with Trail.
Well, there you go. Well, he'll obviously be moving up a lobby,
as far as I'm aware,
at least for the next season.
5.5 seconds. So he's only taken a second off him this lap. As the pace advantage of the soft starts to wear off just a little bit.
Well, I do know that these mediums do take at least a lap, maybe more, in order for them to come up to temp and to get up to speed. So it was somewhat to be expected, but for Kez's 10-second lead to be halved, is
In
a little
2
bit
laps.
surprising to me.
In 2
So
laps
yeah,
with 4 to
it's a little
go.
bit surprising.
He's taken another.
Now
He's taken another second off him in the
Yeah.
top sector of the circuit.
Yep.
At the bottom of the mountain. Look out.
Yeah, this is really going
Giving
to be
chase.
close at the end, folks. Soul Slayer in third. He's sitting pretty. He's in clear space. We've got Gr.3, who's 8 seconds back from Soul Slayer. He's got Robbo Sport just out of slipstream range, but those guys are comfortably into the A final. We've got GLR Scotty just starting up Mountain Straight. He's in clear air on his own as well. We've got Raptor behind him with a 2.5 second gap. This is the bubble, folks. We're 2.5 seconds back to Tricky. So is Tricky going to make a move here? Is he going to start pressuring Raptor into an error? And is he going to steal that last place in the A final from him?
He's got to do it. He's got to find some way to do it. As Kez, he has a little bit of a moment. As he's behind a car that's under blue flags.
3.7, folks.
Oh.
This is coming down.
Oh.
3.6 seconds is the gap. Whip Attack is
get past
absolutely
now.
bearing down on him.
He's got to get past this car.
Whip Attack has done a 2-minute flat, folks. He's done a 2-minute flat. 2-minute flat, 0.8.
No way.
He is charging. He is absolutely on fire. This is FIA top split pace. This is unbelievable pace, folks. He is absolutely... he wants this win. He doesn't want to just get into the A final. He wants to win this thing. I reckon he might win the A final. If he's got this sort of pace in him, this is unbelievable.
Well, let's go on board for a lap and watch that distance close and see how he does it.
Yep, it's currently 3.1. So it's coming down at a rate of knots. He's got some lap traffic ahead of him, which may help him, but may not. He might get some slip, but he's probably going to have to back off across the top of the mountain, I think, as he approaches this lap traffic, which is unfortunate. Because he's got this Aston absolutely flying. He must be a Bathurst specialist or something. Like, I know the Aston is strong around here, but 2 minutes flat, oh my god. That is insane. Look out, Blue Lobby, that's all I can say. You guys are in trouble.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
As he's gone wide, he's...
just nicked the wall on the inside.
And another commentator's curse there. Yeah, you don't want to put a wheel in the grass on the exit of McPhillamy. That is just asking for trouble.
3.5 seconds the gap. He's going to have to get past here now. Unfortunately, he didn't pick up any slipstream, so 3.5 seconds. I wager that to be about 2.5 by the time they hit Mountain Straight on lap 19.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that mistake across the top just then, I reckon he would have got Kez easy. But now, it's going to be close. I reckon it's going to be close. Kez is in the groove on the mediums now.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. He's turned it. Oh, no. Come on, Whip Attack. Gather it, mate. Gather it. You want to get yourself into that A final.
Is he going to box? He
don't
boxes.
Don't pit.
No, he doesn't.
No.
He thinks against
it.
it.
Stay out, bro. Yeah, he'll do it. Yeah, he was going for the win, wasn't he?
Oh, he was charging hard.
Yeah.
He wanted it so bad.
Well,
we still even have qualifying.
Now.
Like, oh,
yeah,
wow.
He's got front, left front wheel damage, left rear wheel damage, and rear aero damage. But I think he's going to be able to hold it together.
He's got 25 seconds.
Just get himself into that A final, and he will challenge for a win.
Yeah, 25 seconds between him and... Actually, no, how far is it? 30 seconds between himself and Robbo, who has just boxed. So it puts Bozza into P8. Tricky Brewer is in P7. Raptor's in P6. So someone in the top 7 is not in the top 7 anymore?
Yeah, let's. What's happened?
Who was it? Who's
I
missing?
don't know, but Tricky's got himself in there.
Was it
We must
Robbo21?
have.
He's in
Might have been. Yeah,
P13.
he's in the pits now. Yeah.
Oh,
Why is
Robbo
he in the
Sport.
pits?
No, Robbo
He's
Sport
done
was...
8.
I'm so confused.
Robbo Sport's coming out of the pits now, so
He was in
he
8th when
must
he
have.
fucked, so he must have had an incident.
Oh, he must right. So he must have collected damage and allowed Tricky through. So Tricky's got himself a free pass
So the gap between
into the A final.
Yep, 6 seconds the gap. You'd back Tricky from there in P7. Kez Audio comfortably has 12 seconds between himself and second with a lap to go. Soul
Yeah,
Slayer,
master
he's in
strategy.
P2 with 4 seconds between himself and Whip Attack, who picked up damage after wiping out at the end of lap 13. All by his lonesome, but should definitely have enough pace in the tank to make it across the line and make it into the final. Rick Green, he's in P4. Great, solid, consistent drive from Rick tonight.
Awesome drive from Rick. That's impressive. And Scotty's there too. Look out. Well done, Scotty.
Scotty P5, he's going to go through Raptor.
Raptor, he copped damage.
Absolute.
Both Scotty and Raptor got damage early in their first stint, so they've done really
Managed to
well.
keep it together, absolutely. And Tricky still only 2 seconds behind Raptor, so he's not been able to close that gap. He's been sat behind Raptor at about 2 seconds, 2.5 for quite some time.
Yeah, his softs are looking a little bit worse for wear, but
Somebody else
Raptors
has just wiped out.
are actually a bit worse. Raptor might want to have a look at his brake bias for the A final. But Tricky's tyres are okay. They're evenly worn, which is the main thing.
So we've come to the final lap of the B final of the Champions of Champions Group 3 event. The top 7 about to go through.
You stick with the leaders, mate. I'm going to watch Tricky on the bubble just in case he makes a mistake. Because Bozza is 4 seconds back, so it should be fine, but I'll let you know if anything happens.
It's Kezi rounds Forest Elbow for the 20th time of 40 tonight. He's led the pack from a very early stage. Pulled out a masterclass on the strategy and fended off a challenge from Whip Attack, who had the pace to close the gap but made a mistake.
Oh no, we've got yellow flag. Scotty's in trouble in 7th. Across the top.
Uh-oh.
Yep, Scotty's had a really bad incident.
So Scotty's dropped out and Bozza's
Might
got
wanna
through in the
might wanna
final.
replay that.
Final moment. Kez Audio takes the checkered flag. Stand up and take a bow, your B final champion. Soul Slayer qualifying across the line in 2nd position. Whip Attack after that big wipeout. He's managed to fend off Rick and he goes through to the final. Look out for him in the final. Oh boy. Rick Green in P4. Tricky now has finally closed that gap on Raptor.
He
Tricky's
has, but he's carrying a penalty.
Oh no.
But that's okay, because he's fine.
He'll still make it.
Poor old Scotty. We were watching the wrong cars because Scotty's had a massive moment, which has cost him a spot in the final, I think.
No.
So tragic outcome for GLR Scotty on the last lap. But it's Bozza claiming the final spot. Tricky gets in, and Demon comes across in 8th. Then Scotty with his moment. Robbo Sport rounding the last corner. He's going to take the checkered flag. A bit over a minute behind the leaders. Then Renegade, who's just exiting the chase, coming down to the last corner in the Rexy. Not the best of outings for Renegade, who I'm led to believe is a bit of a Bathurst specialist, but obviously not his night. Then Robbo21, who's even a long way back from that. He's just coming down Conrod now, so he's obviously had a night to forget. Into the chase now, braking. Gets it pulled up. He's on those worn softs. He's got enough fuel left to get there. down into the last corner now, braking at the 100-metre mark. Don't touch that curve on the apex if he can avoid it. He gets around it, and his night comes to a close as he pulls over the checkered flag some 2 minutes behind the leaders.
So there we go. Kez Audio, Soulslayer, Whip Attack, Rick Reen, Raptor, Tricky Brewer, and Bozza are your top 7 going through to the final. To the A final.
I can't help but feel gutted for GLR Scotty. He was sitting pretty there in 5th or 6th, and on the last lap across the top just before Skyline, something's happened. And I'd say he's put a wheel on the grass exiting McPhillamy, and then that's just turned him around, and by the time he got to Skyline he was a passenger and he was into the wall. That was ugly. That was not pretty to watch.
Well, we're going to take a short intermission now, in which we're going to do some gremlin fixing as well, hopefully, and then be back for the final.